Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and start. But yeah, so what it was coming down like pretty much 3/4 of the way, and then the left side would just stop, and then of course it would and then it would go back up, and so it just was never coming down. I was like, God damn it! Like it was just.
Welcome to the Ramblecast where Nick was talking about his testicles.
Yeah.
He has no song for tonight.
That's dead on. Yeah.
That's dead on.
Yeah.
I thought it was his penis because it wasn't coming down.
It was coming down 3.
It's always on the right. Yes.
It's always rising. Really? To the right.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with mine too. So
It's like a crooked banana.
Yeah.
Penis or garage door? Because that's what it's officially.
garage door. Yeah.
Garage door. I've got 99 garage doors, but the
Anytime we hit the car, it's programmed into our car. It fucks up
in your Lexus.
In our Lexus, it fucks up the garage. All of a sudden, I'm like going, but I've checked. I've gone on YouTube, checked all these different things. I'll get it working. It worked for 2 days, and it's fucked up again. So I don't know what's wrong with it.
My garage has problems because as the cold contracts, the cold contracts, heat expands, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as it contracts, somehow it doesn't allow the garage door to go down all the way. So I have to play this little button game where I'm like down 5 inches, down 5 inches, down 5 inches, down 5 inches. Because what it does is it goes down and it wants to go back
we're talking
up.
about your penis, right?
Yeah, is this your dick or what?
Cold. Yeah. I was in the pool.
See, I started off this podcast like
Gore-Tex.
tearing into Nick because of last week, and just like that, 180 flipped it around on me. So
Well, you just brought that back. You brought it up.
Yeah.
If you
walked
hold
yourself into that one.
If you hold the button, it'll go down.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
No?
It goes down and then it wants to go back up, and so then I got to do this like psych out game thing with it, where it's like punch it.
Well,
punch it, and then once it goes up above 30 degrees or above 20 degrees outside, it's like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
But it hits like this 10-degree marker, and
my problem is I think the sensors are not.
They're not aligned.
Well, no, that the sensors are thinking that something's obstructing in the way, and
you might have a cobweb.
Well, the grandkids have been playing with a lot of sand.
Again, are we talking about your Johnson or?
So still in the garage, but yeah,
cobwebs. No,
I got it. Yeah,
I got it. Yeah, and blow the cobwebs off that dick.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
yeah. What I ended up figuring out. Yeah, because I probably hit the button, God knows how many times, trying to figure out why it was not coming down all the way, and what I ended up doing was, because it was on the left side, it kept kind of sticking and getting off it. So I figured, like what Matt was saying, is a combination of the cold, and then probably
this is such a fucking dick conversation. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's like,
I know.
Not even
it's an old man joke. We're
minutes
talking about
we were
fucking
just
garage
after
doors.
dark.
Yeah. Oh, but that too.
Just right to the after dark.
Dickadore. That's the
Dickadore.
the name of the episode.
Dickadore. What are we talking about? We don't know.
This is better than Star Wars talk.
Speaking of Star Wars talk.
But yeah, I think kind of WD-40, and that pretty much solved it. So.
It's okay. Now I did try this. I WD-40'd the whole shebang, and I even take a big, huge hammer out, and I just kind of whack at it a couple times, see if it's got any life in it, see if it can move that.
We're still on garage.
We're still talking about dicks, yeah. Like you kind of whack at it a little bit, see if it's got any life in it.
I whacked at it a few times.
Put some of that WD dick spray on it.
WD-40. That gets going, but you can't take it that often.
When you're over 40, the doctor recommends using lubricants.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
but we did have something interesting.
Did you know that over 30% of all men have those problems?
We'll still not know.
We'll never know what that.
Did you know? Did you know that? You see the commercials for them, like Did you know that 1/3 of all men over 40 have those problems? So you might need to see a doctor.
I thought you were
getting it up,
huh?
Getting it up.
Getting it up. Yeah. I'm kidding.
That is not a problem I've run into yet.
It's good.
I don't know why you shared that, but hey, now you know.
It's a funk problem. Do you get on up or do you get down?
I mean, let's
talk
about dick pills for a second, right?
Okay, sure. We did last week.
Did we talk about dick pills last week?
I don't remember talking about dick pills.
I just gave Ed the name.
That's right.
Is there still a stigma for dick pills?
I don't think so.
No,
because I don't need them, but I'm like, I'll fucking take one. Is it gonna make it even better? I mean, Why not?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ed's little blue helpers, which apparently he wants that.
I mean, dude, if it's gonna make your sex life better, why not? Go for it. We should get sponsored by Roman.
Well, it's because I mean it's a number of things. Your prostate health. It's if you have any kind of condition where you have nerve damage, you're gonna
if you drink too much coffee.
That's right. Caffeine can be an effect. Well, caffeine can
really
be a factor in that.
I drink a lot of caffeine. A fuck ton
of those pills.
I mean, hey, if it comes down to it, I'll fucking take 2 a day. Let's go.
But
I may or may not have taken them before.
Oh, you did? Is it awesome?
Let's just say this one time
at band camp.
2 hours later, I was out in public and it decided maybe
the wind blew and
I've been, oh my god!
So legit. So I'm
wait. I thought this was like a crossover with.
So what you're saying is you took them and you had a public boner after the fact.
Yeah, like 2 hours later.
Really? So like again. According to the commercial, you should consult the doctor.
Well, no, it's 4 hours straight.
Oh, it's 4
hours straight. Yeah, if you just maintain an erection for that long.
Yeah, and you know what they do with the 4 hours? They have to
take the bone out.
Yeah. They do have to cut into the.
Jesus, why?
Why have we
gone this far?
Well, because we used
because
to
you know what,
Tamara
these
like,
are questions that I really want to know about. Like I mean, yeah, you hear the
we used to have a customer who sold
dick pills.
Dick pills, and she was telling us all about all the
penis pills,
the side effects. And I'm like going, she goes, yeah, it happens. It just you have to go into the emergency room and have it.
Like so.
That's
they
not
take
really
out the
explaining anything.
venom.
What they do?
I don't know what they do. I couldn't get
relieve
past
the pressure. I don't know. Yeah,
it's something to relieve the pressure so it can subside.
Or you just keep going at it.
I'm pretty sure they just drain fluids.
But from what I know, because I don't know much about them, but there's two types. You have the Viagra and the other kind. I mean, the Viagra. There's two kind that you take it just a couple hours before sex, but you can only take them like 4 times.
That's what
month.
It is. Splitting the hot dog in half.
Oh God!
No.
Who the fuck said that?
Chuck Cunningham.
He just got back from Vietnam.
Jesus, dude.
No, Richie Cunningham killed him.
Oh, okay. That's your theory. You're going for the serial killer.
The ones that have the problem where you have to go see a doctor. Last where it was like the Viagra.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That's my sister.
Yeah, that's your sister. Yeah, I'm out.
That's
just like
I didn't know she was gonna be here.
No, I'm out.
And then you have Cialis, I believe.
Yeah, that's what you have to take in the bath. You have to take in the bathtub up on a hill.
Yeah. Cialis is a daily pill, but it's not the same as Viagra and the other kind. It's like you take it before sex. Like this is a daily pill, and it's more for like the prostate to allow more blood flow to go down. But you're still normal. Like you don't have like the rock hard erection.
How do I fix my garage door? That's what I came here for.
Well, if you give it a blue pill, you gotta lube it. Anyway, I did have something else I want to talk. Are we done with the dick talk?
I mean,
we're never done with dick
Chris
talk,
is intrigued. So
I kind of want to take one just to fucking fuck around with it.
You might end up in the shower.
That's the purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not knowing
I'm
how
curious.
long you spent in the shower. Like,
I did.
I remember when I was probably my early 20s when I'd go up to South Dakota go pheasant hunting. I was in a conversation with a bunch of guys in their early 60s having this exact same conversation. And they were talking about that, how like they'd all kind of gotten a couple pills from a doctor or a friend or whatnot. And it's different, of course, when you're in your 60s versus us, Chris and Matt, when you're in your 40s and you're still pretty much normal. But they said like once, none of these guys had.
Going to Chris's question earlier, is there a stigma to it? I guess there still is. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like, yeah.
If you're normal.
I mean, it works. It works normally. You don't need any aid. But that's what they were saying is that they were all, because naturally, as you get older, it's not going to be like it was when you were 15 or 20 or whatever.
I mean, there's a clear difference now than when I was 20.
Right. And that's what it says. They had all had taken one just to try it, like what you're saying. And it said that they loved it. But it's at that point where they're like, do I want to start paying?
Gotcha.
That amount,
it is like you're building a relationship with a drug dealer.
Right, and it's like either like it's amazing, but then after that you're kind of like it's like a drug dealer. You're like, dude, I want to do that every time.
Oh,
But
right.
So it's better.
It's better, but it's because you're rock hard, and they're like,
Sure.
and they said, but you're paying like what's it, like $50 a pill. So it's
What?
Yeah, it's expensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold the fucking
It's got to
phone.
come down from that,
Are you trying
right?
to tell me that
After
this
4
shit
hours.
costs $50 a pill?
Yeah, it's expensive. It's
Really?
I mean,
yeah.
edibles are way
like
cheaper than
there's
that.
and the only reason why I know that is because there's a comedian out there that talked about that, how like once he got like near 50, he started having some problems, and he got a doctor to prescribe it to him, and he got like 10 pills, and it was like $500.
What's the name of it?
Just say Viagra, I guess.
Viagra.
Yeah. That's the only one
much
everyone
is
knows by
Viagra?
name.
It was a
Africa.
Southern comedian though, so take it with
From Oklahoma, so yeah.
Holy fuck.
Told you. Yeah, it's expensive.
Randy says you can get it on the street for less. He's been to a lot of Jimmy Buffett concerts apparently, and they just
right,
give them
that's
out
right.
like LSD.
Dude, are you serious?
At
It's
a
Insurance should cover it.
They do, but you're still paying, a lot. But
$30 per tablet for the generic stuff.
for the generic, yeah.
Weird that insurance is
Wow.
paying for this or could cover it, but there are
It's 'cause
certain
it's-
procedures, preventative medicine procedures, that insurance is like, fuck that, we're not preventing this.
Well, the thing is that the difference is that
What can they make money?
you have a condition. Your dick doesn't work, so that's why. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why
So,
insurance covers it.
Sure.
All right. So what's the difference between sildenafil and Viagra?
I think they're the same thing.
But
Is
like,
it?
if you're an addict, if you're an
that's the
addict,
active
though,
ingredient.
so it
I think
didn't
that's the
feel
active
good.
ingredient versus the name of the.
hypothetical, devil's advocate here, though. If you're at an age where you should not be procreating because your sperm's junk, right?
Mhm.
Why should you get a dick pill just so that you can get your jollies off, as opposed to the insurance companies that will refuse preventative medicine that could actually prevent you
Because the
from getting
insurance
this
companies are probably making a lot of money off this.
Oh, it's worse than the opioid crisis. This dick pill crisis is just.
Well, seriously,
I can't fucking believe how much this shit
$50 a pill,
costs.
and
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah,
You know how much a garage door opener costs?
not much.
All right. So Hims, you probably all heard the.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
commercials
Yeah,
for Hims.
I was seeing them on Facebook. Yeah.
One-time purchase, $24 for $24 a month, and that's 4 doses.
But that's 4 pills. Yeah, so that means you're only having sex with that 4 times.
Well,
Well,
you
I mean,
could go
that's-
on
yeah,
your own
for us
free
married men,
wheeling,
that's not bad.
but once you go dick pill, you can
So
go back.
sildenafil for the Roman, which is the one of those new mail order
when in
companies.
Rome,
Mm-hmm.
First order is $9, and all subsequent orders are $25. So
when
looking
you
at
say
24,
mail order, you mean like you,
Mail, as in the post office, not M-A-L.
or are you ordering a
M-A-I-L.
mail? Okay, all right.
MAIL, ordering it through the mail.
whatever works.
That's just fucking wild to me. I never took the step to
That's
look
wild.
to see how much it actually cost.
That's just wild.
I remember when I was on my honeymoon, I was in Mexico in like the like not the gift shop, but like the what's it called? Well, no,
Sorry,
it was
I'm
like,
just imagining a Mexican gift shop where you're just like, oh, there's just these.
Here's toothbrush.
well,
it's
no,
like
yeah. What do you call those
pills.
little mini
Pepto-Bismol.
general stores
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Pepto Bismol is a huge one, right? Because
Right.
all the people getting Montezuma's revenge and whatnot.
Red, yeah.
Right,
But
right.
like the little convenience shop that was inside the resort, you could buy Viagra, and that's my only frame of reference of the commerce of Viagra. And it was I remember distinctly it was like $10, and I was like, oh, all right, $10, that's fun. I don't need that,
It's
but
Mexican Viagra. They
fair.
get cheaper.
But the thing is, though, drugs are cheaper everywhere outside of the United States.
I do like to imagine
never-
this as like a
Oh,
bulk
yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing where like you could like put a scoop in and get your raisins or your.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's like
kinda like the
you know, like
candy
those
store.
candy
Yeah.
shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
They do
So
it by
like,
the pound because there's no stigma to it.
Fucking
Now you just
hell,
walk up there
man.
with a big bag of blue pills.
I also imagine like
I didn't
this-
want 6 pounds of them.
I like the idea of a self-serve pill buffet here, where like some of the other pills are mixing in, and you're like, oh shit, I got one of these other colored pills in there. I don't know, I'll just eat it.
Matt's criticizing Mexicans again.
Was I? I did not bring up Mexican
Matt.
gift shops.
no, I brought it up, but you made fun of it.
Yes. You did.
I didn't make fun of it. I just was saying that I could imagine this scenario.
Don't backpedal. Just embrace.
Just own it. You're anti-Mexican.
Just don't be like the mayor of LA where he says he's holding his breath. Just say.
All right, you know. So I will get Matt off the hook on this one. So speaking of owning it and kind of taking it and moving forward, I'm never on Twitter, hardly ever on Twitter, I should say.
Neither is Jack.
Well,
I know.
Well, I got a story about that.
And I recently had a notification pop up, so I was like, "Oh, I'll take a look at what the fuck's going on." And somebody responded to excuse me, a tweet that I sent 3 years ago, and I don't even remember tweeting it, right? And it's completely out of context.
Well, who looks at tweets that are 3 years old?
I'll get to that in a second. So here's the thing. So I don't even remember tweeting it. So I said, we are whores for Autism Speaks. Is that really a bad thing, though? ? Likely, probably having a back and forth with somebody about the work that we did through, the podcast or whatever. I don't recall. I have no recollection of actually tweeting it, to be fairly honest with you. And then I got the notification because somebody this morning responded to it saying yes. Referencing the fact that is that really a bad thing, though? And then
go ahead.
So
right.
and then there's a number of people that were like tagged on it or liked it or whatever. Like there's attention to my tweet. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. What's going on? So apparently there's a movement right now of people being educated, or apparently I'm getting educated on it now, that Autism Speaks is actually not as wholesome of an organization as we may have previously thought.
That was like a year or two ago. I remember people talking about that. That was more than I found out that the hard way, because we'd get criticized for doing it. There'd be people that go, "You need to go with a different charity." I go, and the funny thing was, we tried different charities. They wouldn't. Nobody would call us back. I tried St. Jude's. Long story short. But there was also famous like actors we tried to get on the show that wouldn't do it because they didn't. They had family members with autism, but they didn't respect Autism Speaks.
It's wild to me. I had no idea. Like I didn't know that at all. I had assumed that there was just kind of like maybe it's just all the work that we did for it. I think that we all kind of were under the impression that we were doing
good things. Yeah,
a good thing. Yeah. So I actually responded to it. I said 3 years later, this tweet has earned some attention, apparently negative attention. Looks like I might have some research to do. Never thought about that all the time and money donated was anything but a positive thing. That being said, times change, circumstances change, and perspectives change. So we'll do what I can to understand and learn more. But I think that that was my tie-in from just kind of like owning something and kind of moving forward with it. But the sad part is that clearly the person who responded to me was looking for reasons to like go after people, right? Because how else would someone have referenced a tweet that I tweeted out, me, who I'm not fucking important whatsoever. Like nobody knows me. Why would somebody find a tweet from 3 years ago from me and respond to it and spark up a conversation?
Did you hashtag it at Autism Speaks?
No.
That's
really. So there was no at Autism Speaks. It was just
no. I mean, Jack, I wish you could see it, Jack, but unfortunately, you don't have access to Twitter, so you can't. But
I do. But
here, I'll share my screen here.
We all want you to make you feel better, Jack. And yes, of course, you have access to Twitter. We know that.
For now.
Well, sure. If that makes you feel better.
I don't know if I can share Twitter. Can I?
Oh. Sure.
Well, I did. The one Twitter account I have left, they're trying to. They were actually trying to kick me off that too.
Really? Twitter was
because I'm not allowed to have any account, at all.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I go. So I did file another appeal, and they rejected it right away. I said, "Please read my appeal," and they actually sent me something back saying, give us an email, add to this email and see what's going on.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah. Just looking for a kind of vengeance. Yeah.
But anyway, it's we learned our falling out with Autism Speaks was when we set up that run.
Oh yeah.
We wanted to do a run.
The 5K. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah, and it was just they kept saying, "Oh, can you do this? Can you do this?" I go, I have a job. I go, we got the location. They wanted us to find off-duty police officers that could do security. I go, I don't have time to do this. I go, basically, they wanted me to do their job, and I'm like going, I don't have time to do this. I do, but we seriously tried other autism, organizations. Nobody would call us back. I literally tried like 10 charities, and I said, all right, I give up. Nobody wants money. So
yeah, it's just weird, man. Like I've done like a relay, like a walk thing in New York City, and we did this stuff for Jay and Jack. For the longest time, my Amazon purchases went through the charity window through Amazon where they donate money. Like, lots of time and money put together for Autism Speaks. I had no idea that it was
well, some people swear by it, and other people can't stand it. I guess they said something. I guess the big thing was they said something negative about people with autism that people didn't like. I think that was more. I think that was more than anything. It was like they put. I hope I'm saying this right, but I think they put people down that have autism. I don't know if they meant to, but that's how people took it, and that's what people were. That's what people were telling us. It's like, how can you raise money for this? They don't care. They don't do this. I'm like going. It was suggested to us by when we first decided to do a charity. That's what people overwhelmingly decide. That's what they said. Do it on autism. Autism Speaks, the group to do it with.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about Autism Speaks.
It should be. I mean, I don't know about. But I mean, the thing about most things that people get pissed about with charities is like how they allocate the money.
Yes.
And it should almost be law because they don't pay taxes because they're charity. It's
right.
like it should almost be law that they have to disclose how much everyone makes, like what every bit of the money does, because that's where there's two. I forgot the first one, but the one that's current is Black Lives Matter. Because they have. The woman was buying 3 houses that was running it. And the last story I read, which was a month or two ago, is that there's $40 million just sitting in Black Lives Matter's accounts, and there's no one in charge of it. Like they don't know what they're doing with the money. And so it's just kind of like, oh, just give us your money and we're not doing anything with it. And so it pisses people off because they're like, well, it should be going to something good. And it's not. It's just kind of
you look at what those people, the politicians and rich people have their foundations. How much of the money actually goes from the foundation to the people that need it.
Right.
These people are getting rich off the foundations, but we used to get
that's what people go.
Well, how much are you actually sending to Autism Speaks? I go, if we raise $1, they get $1. If we raise $2, they get. We don't get anything. We didn't take a dot, but people still thought we were taking, a large chunk of it.
Well, I remember them saying that. Because that's what a lot of rich people do, is that they set up foundations as tax havens. So it's like, I owe, let's say, you're a millionaire and you have to pay $1 million in taxes every year. You'll donate whatever you're supposed to give in taxes, the $1 million, to your charity. And then you just kind of say like, oh, well, I'm this person, this charity, my salary is $1 million, and so you're just paying yourself back your own money.
Mexican Chuck Cunningham.
Funny.
The human fund.
But that's what pisses people off, though, is like when you realize that. I mean, I'm just going like United Way or something. I have no idea, but like any charity, it's like, oh, like the CEO of United Way pays himself $500,000 every year. You're like, that's a charity.
Certain percent, and it's not a lot.
We definitely don't pay anything to Nick's Internet.
No.
Not at all.
Not a single dime goes to Nick's Internet. Okay?
I'll tell you,
obviously,
if anybody was ever looking for a place to donate or considering a charitable cause to donate, this made me think about it, and I just looked it up live as we were doing the show, as I often do when these guys are talking.
Because he doesn't listen.
No, I listen. I listen fully. But I was, and my wife and I were, and my daughter were benefited from a foundation called the Ellie Fund. That's ELLIE Fund. and it's an amazing organization. And I was trying to see if I can scramble to see if I can find like their donation data or how much money goes where. But I can honestly tell you, this is probably one of the most amazing. Hold on, your donation security process, blah 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 blah. 3% transaction fee. Yeah, okay. So they have a transaction fee they pay off. But anyways, so their the whole point of their fundraising efforts is to go towards the patients and the families that are going through and recovering from breast cancer. So we were nominated for this fund, and it was unbelievably supportive and amazing. Like the things you don't even think about that you need when you're going through something like that is where these guys come through and they take care of stuff for you. So, we're going back 6-7 years ago when my wife had cancer, and you don't know like what the fuck to expect until you're in the middle of it, and you just don't even think about some of the things like the things that don't cross your mind, that you just don't even put 2 seconds of thought into, like how am I going to get the groceries today, or
right.
how am I going to get this house clean, or how am I going to get my kids taken care of, or whatever it is. This fund, the Ellie Fund, is amazing, and they do that, right? So, we all of a sudden had gift cards sent to us for like hundreds of dollars for our local grocery store. We had a house cleaning service come to our house once every other week and clean the house for us. Like those types of things where you don't even think about that type of support that just comes through so strongly. It was unbelievable. And, after Amanda went through and was a survivor and all this, that, and the other, we were invited to go and be a part of their annual gala where they do like these auctioning off, and this is where their big fundraising happens. We were able to be a part of that too. So
is this where you actually dress up?
Yeah, I did. I dressed up in a tux. Looked pretty fucking great too. Not as good as my wife did, but
fucking great. So it's a stretch, but
yeah, exactly.
I look great. But my wife looked amazing, and it was actually really cool because it wasn't long after she was going through her treatment that they invited her. So they sent us and picked us up in a limo, right? And she got to spend like a day being done up and made to feel beautiful, which is hard to do when you're going through treatment.
Yeah.
So they had like a salon day for her where they at the time she was wearing a wig because she had lost all of her hair. So they did like a stylist for her wig and made sure her dress was fitting, and she looked fucking stunning. And it was just one of those really cool things to watch and see the Boston elite spending tons and tons of money. Granted, we did not bid on anything because we couldn't afford this stuff, but like the amount of thousands and thousands of dollars that were coming in for this organization, it was pretty awesome to see because we were benefiting from it. So, hey, there you go. There's my little sales pitch for the Ellie Fund. So if you want to, they actually do have, I'm looking at their website now, you can actually set up one up for your Amazon purchases to go through them as well. But yeah, it's a really great foundation.
There are some good charities out there. We even tried Make-A-Wish and they nothing. I was like, good.
Yeah.
I give up. But yeah, no. But that's probably what it is. It's there's people out there that. It's weird though. If you didn't hashtag it, how did he find it?
Well, you when you do a search, like you're searching for a term, right? So that person, but here's what happened. Really, the person who first responded to my tweet from fucking for over 3 years ago simply responded with yes, period, meaning like, is it so bad? I don't recall what the context was, and so essentially that person found my tweet by literally searching Autism Speaks and literally had to have been combing through people who tweeted about it to find people who are tweeting about it in a positive light to then go and shit on them or start something with them.
Yeah. Well, luckily my other account's been frozen because I probably have a lot of tweets about autism.
Sure.
Was the person that commented on it Sticks? Because they sound like they have too much time on their hands.
Yeah.
How many followers do they have?
Thank you.
Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
It's a robot. It's like a beep boop boop. I'm a Twitter robot designed to destroy.
Yeah. That's what amazes me about social media is how many bots and people do that on purpose just to start shit because it gets them trending. It gets them attention. And like I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but Amazon has a Lord of the Rings prequel series coming out in November.
I think we all watched the Super Bowl, right?
I didn't. So
you didn't?
I was busy because I had 2 demos yesterday, so I had to work on Sunday.
That's going to be my next topic.
Well, I caught a little bit of it,
because they did have an advertisement for it.
Okay, I missed that. So, but I watched the trailer. I think yesterday in between my demos, and it just didn't look appealing to me. It looked kind of just a CGI.
Yeah, I didn't.
Nothing. And a comment on, I think it was Twitter. No, not Twitter. Instagram. I think. I just wrote, not for me. That's all I wrote. Just not for me. It doesn't look, and then immediately I just started getting bombarded with notifications, like people were responding to it, and they were all just bots, like people going, why? And then you see them arguing back and forth, like people, because they're trying to get you engaged. So you comment. I'm like, and I made my comment, just not for me. That's not really any way to take it. But
I was actually excited about it. Like the trailer, I was like, oh, because I had heard about it. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, I'm interested. I want to see more. Of course, I was like, I actually enjoyed The Hobbit. I mean, I think it could have been 2 movies as opposed to 3, but I did enjoy The Hobbit.
The Hobbit should have been 2. Yeah, The Hobbit should have been 2. Yeah, and I mean,
4 or 5 maybe.
I don't know why Del Toro decided to bail on The Hobbit. I think it would have been probably good with him, the original director, with 2 movies, and then Peter Jackson, I think, just tried to, straighten the ship, but it was just too late.
Ironically, he should have let it be.
He should have just let it be. Yeah. And 3 movies was just too much. And then, doing it in 100 and whatever frames per second was just.
Thank you.
I didn't like, but I don't have any, because the 7 or whatever the rings, whatever they're calling it, that's really only 20 pages.
Power of the Rings,
the
Rings of Power,
7 Rings of Power, or something like that.
Rings of Power,
Rings of Power. Yeah, that's I never say it right, but the book and the Silurion, or however they say it, like
Silmarillion.
Some Silmarillions. Thank you, Chris. It's only 20 pages long, that whole section. So basically, they're just making up shit. So it's
some artistic freedom for sure.
You know that Rogue One was based off of one little snippet in a space crawl of New Hope.
That's a 2 hour and 20-minute movie versus a series.
True, but they've got at least a little bit more than just a little blurb. Maybe, I don't know. So the Rings of Power. It sounds like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger kind of spinoff, So
well, it's can we go back to Twitter just for a second? There was someone I followed this because of the halftime show. This person wrote
more penis talk.
That I can't say it. The ends words are taking over the NFL. Actually spelled.
Dude, I swear to God, there's so much.
Wow, you're going there already. Okay.
I actually reported it.
Dickadore.
I'm going to report that.
The guy.
This guy didn't even get suspended, and he has a history of racial. I get suspended for making a joke. This guy, racial, because people were bringing up, like you were saying, people are going back a couple of years going. I go, how is this guy not suspended? Anyway,
there's so much racism that still exists in this country. And
first of all,
unfortunately,
it wasn't the greatest halftime show.
Because it was fucking great.
No. It wasn't the greatest halftime show because to me, the Prince halftime show is still
Prince. I like Prince. I like Bruce Springsteen.
But this, I really enjoyed it. My wife really enjoyed it. We knew this, the songs, and it was for the first time. I mean, how many of those players listen to rap? How many?
I'm just picturing you at home, like rapping along halftime with your kids.
With our kids, like get up, come on.
Well, I didn't see it live. I was doing a video.
You were too worried about the wardrobe malfunction on Snoop Dogg.
Well, no, I was doing a YouTube, and all Twitter was like the greatest. I go the greatest. So I watched it the next day. I go, that was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I go, the greatest of all time.
It's not the greatest. No,
it was awesome.
It was entertaining. But
it was awesome in the sense that, man, it was really cool to see and kind of have that feeling because those songs were in that whole genre of music. For me, it was like high school and college, some of like the best years, right?
It's
But
weird.
I heard of all of them, but one person. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, the only one that
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar didn't belong there. I thought it was the only one.
No, I
Kinda
agree,
odd.
but I'm pretty sure it's because Snoop just bought.
But I know people were complaining about the guys in the prison outfits, and I said, well, maybe
they're going to complain about that.
I said, well, maybe you should.
Have you seen the music video?
Maybe you should go watch Jail. Maybe you should go watch Jailhouse Rock.
Right.
Well, it's referencing the music video from. Well, I'm
just saying is I go.
I affectionately refer to as $1.75 because
he adjusted for inflation. Okay? That's what he did.
He did, right?
He should be called Bitcoin now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's like, why is he hanging upside down? It's like, well, because the last time you saw him do that, he was doing that to get crushed abs in prison when he was hanging upside down in the music video.
Okay, to Miami Mike's point, though, most of the rockers that they have on there have not had a hit in the last 15 years.
No.
Yeah, but
I mean,
but that's most halftime shows. You know?
Yeah,
well, Snoop has actually. Snoop has.
I'll be honest with you, the halftime show is not a real big deal for me.
Yeah.
Ever. But it's I said, okay, it's good. As long as people like it, I don't care.
One unique thing about this one too is that it was in full daylight. Like usually it's on an East Coast, or by the time you get to the halftime, it's dark, and so there's a lot of like lights, light shows, or pyrotechnics that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas this one was actually fully lit because the sun was just setting at that time.
They have it
right
on the stage.
So there was more light kind of overall. And I don't know. I liked it because it was lit.
One of my
it was lit, man. So was Snoop Dogg.
One of my
You see,
that's how you know that it's going to be a good burrito.
Yeah. One of my favorite memes I've seen so far of just that made me really chuckle was, thank God we don't have any of these old performers. You know, like the Beatles or Paul McCartney or Prince or the Who. It's like they actually have something for us young people, and then it hits them. You know, you're like, oh shit.
Is Snoop Dogg my age?
He's 50.
Yeah, he's 50 years
old. So he's Matt's age.
Yeah.
I am not 50.
People forget,
younger than that.
People forget that he was only like 19 when
Dr.
when his first record dropped.
Is it Dr. Dre or just Dre?
Dr. Dre.
He's got to be up there.
I personally would have liked it better if it just would have been Dre and Snoop Dogg, and that's it, because they have enough material between the two to be a kick-ass halftime show.
I like Eminem though.
At least
Mary J. Blige was awesome.
Yeah. I'm not taking away from anyone's performances. I'm just saying I would have liked it better.
But my only criticism was Kendrick Lamar. I mean, and I was trying to explain to my to my friends who have no idea who Kendrick Lamar is. Like the dude is probably one of the most talented individuals, you know, in music right now. But that was not a great representation of it, in my opinion. Anderson .Paak was in there too. I think he was playing guitar. Was he on guitar? Yeah, because his band.
I think
his band was playing for Eminem.
Oh, okay.
He's amazing. So Anderson .Paak and Kendrick Lamar are two of some of the most amazing musicians and artists, and
it was the halftime show was better than the Katy Perry one a few years ago.
He was playing drums for Eminem. Says Mike. Wait, what did you say about Katy Perry?
You thought it was better than Katy Perry's.
Dude, she's incredible. I will fall on that sword. I don't give a damn.
I'm just laughing like just immediate defense. You know, like
dude,
that's the one with
the song
that's
Firework.
That's the one where the shark was out of place.
The shark.
Oh yeah, the shark one. That performance was ridiculous. But the song Firework, I will defend. That song is
she can sing. I just remember the shark not being in sync or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like me up there dancing.
Well, apparently Eminem had a lip sync problem, and so did 50 Cent there.
Well, they all were lip singing. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, but they were the ones that were most noticeable.
I go, wait, are they lip singing because the mic was down here? And
everybody lip syncs during the halftime show. That's like a prerequisite.
I don't want lip syncing. I want the real thing.
This is too much math.
It can't be the greatest of all time if they're lip syncing. I'm sorry. Did Whitney Houston lip sync the national anthem?
That's different.
That's
the national anthem.
Different. Yeah,
when you're performing,
the national anthem's hard. It's the hardest song in the world to sing.
Literally hanging upside down like a fucking vampire bat. You're gonna lip sync.
If you were to perform the national anthem, would you not have somebody else put a bet in for you that this was going to go either long or short? you know, so you could like kind of,
But
you know,
you want me to
cash
sing
in
the
on.
national anthem?
No. I'm saying you bet on yourself.
I'd be like Roseanne.
You know, you're like let's say like they're like the bet for the Super Bowl national anthem is supposed to be like two minutes and 14 seconds.
Yes.
You know, and if you go over that, you get like so much money. If you were the singer, why wouldn't you just be like, hey, cousin Louie, put $5,000 on me because I'm gonna get this thing going really long. You just like hold out that note to 3 minutes or something.
Now, was anyone else disappointed that Tupac did not show up for the halftime show?
Like, it's a perfect moment for them to announce that he's still alive.
Right,
exactly.
Sure.
Because you imagine they got towards the end of the performance, and all of a sudden you just hear like California, and like he just like rises up, and you're like, oh!
I'm surprised he didn't do the hologram shot again. Why not do the hologram? Like. That would have been really cool.
Treese thinks that Whitney's was pre-recorded. I don't know, but either way, it was the best national anthem ever.
You cannot tell Jack otherwise.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're going to say this halftime show is the best, Whitney Houston's version of the national anthem, come on.
Crack is whack.
All right, now what about the game? What did you guys think about the game?
I wanted the Rams to win because of Weddle, and I actually posted something on Twitter, and man, current Charger fans just have no
loyalty.
What's the word I'm looking?
Respect,
they're just fucking stupid.
Humility,
because
empathy.
Because they're mad at Weddle because he blasted the Charger owner and management. That has nothing. They go, he's insulting our team. I go, no, he's insulting the owner and management. These are the same people when we say I'm not rooting for the Chargers because of Spanos. Well, that's ridiculous. You should just root for the players. But they're upset at Weddle for blasting the owner. Yeah. I had 300 something likes and all these different people like cussing at me. That's okay. I can't have an account, but you can.
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, if I criticize Jerry Jones, I'm not criticizing the
Cowboys. No,
the Cowboys. No, I'm criticizing Jerry Jones for being an idiot.
Oh, but I would criticize Jerry Jones to hell and back.
But I thought the game was good. I thought that, of course, the call at the end on Cincinnati was bullshit. I mean, it wasn't holding, but there was
holding
a call
was unbelievable.
But there was a non-call on what Higgins grabbed Ramsey's face mask, threw him to the ground,
right?
Caught the ball 75. So it did kind of. The only thing I was telling Cindy about, I said the problem with this. It depends on which referee called it, because sometimes when you're reffing, you can only call what you see, and it did when you're watching it live. It looks like he's hanging all over him, right?
Right.
So if you're a ref, you're watching. I mean, it's a bang. You're only watching for like 3 or 4 seconds. It did look like he was grabbing him and holding him, but you watch the instant replay, which the camera work is so good. You go, oh, he didn't do anything to him.
He didn't do anything to him.
Well, and there was a neutral zone infraction on the 4th and 1 for the Bengals. So had that been caught, there would have been an advancement on downs, and they would have most likely gotten a field goal. So,
but they also had terrible time management skills in that last drive. Like, it was unbelievable.
They did have horrible.
The Bengals.
The Bengals, on that last drive.
It was like watching Pop Warner trying to do it.
And they should have had that 3rd and 1. And then
when you have the Rams,
it's just like,
what's I'm drawing a blank on his name. 99, best private defensive lineman in the history of football. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? For the Rams, come on, someone help me out.
I'm just gonna say what Mike says here in the chat. The game was fine. It just had to follow some of the craziest playoff games we've ever seen, and that is a fair assessment. We had some really amazing, especially those Bengals games. And
come on, someone help me out. What's his name?
Aaron Donald.
He was on a mission that final drive.
Dude, it was unbelievable. But
because
they couldn't get to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball like that.
Yep.
I was yelling at the TV. I'm not even a fucking Bengals fan.
Right.
I wanted the Bengals to win because they're the underdog. I was going for the Bengals the entire game. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, even I have better ball management skills when I'm playing Madden. Like, this is ridiculous.
On the final, have you seen the frozen the
wide open
still shot where the Ramsey falls down and Jamar Chase is wide open.
The only
problem is Aaron Donald has a hold of Burrows, and he can't. That if you gave Burrows an offensive line,
if you gave Burrows 1 extra second, they won the game.
Yeah,
that offensive line.
I mean, you look at he got sacked 7 times. I mean, I thought he tore his knee up.
Yeah,
on that one.
That one scene too.
I said, and even Stafford came back. But you see when his foot got bent back,
gross.
I said, "Oh my God, how's he back in the game?"
But that's because they go to the back. They go to the sidelines. They put a towel over his leg and jack him up with cortisone and say, "Get the fuck back out there and deal with this after the game."
Yeah,
like you.
Well, they said
it's the Super Bowl. You play through it.
They said Burrows is not going to have surgery.
Oh, I'm really.
He won't. Yeah, they said he's not going to have. But Cincinnati, if they want to be back, they have to beef up that offensive line.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe that they could run the ball that well, or at least better than LA, and not be able to protect him. So, there was a couple plays on that final drive for LA, which it was weird because I was rooting for the Bengals, like Chris here. It was kind of like I just wanted a close game. So at some point I was kind of like, yeah, I can see LA scoring here. I mean, it's like they're right there, and it's 1st and goal. This is 4th down territory. You're gonna go for it on 4th down anyway, right? They just kept throwing it in the end zone and not getting anything. And I realized that their run game was shit. But why wouldn't the Rams on 2nd and goal just like try? Just try.
I thought they did do one run.
No, they didn't. They just kept throwing it, and they just couldn't get shit.
But they literally weren't getting anything on their runs. And Burrow,
the only reason they ran it there towards the end was because they finally got on the penalties. They finally got close enough to the goal line
they were trying to get Cincinnati to use their timeouts.
So, but the best legend of the Super Bowl of this year though was the kicker.
Evan, watching the halftime show.
Evan, what's his name? He didn't go into the goddamn locker room, stay to the sidelines, and watch the halftime show.
He's the kicker. Yeah.
Eric Weddle, when he played,
legend.
When Eric Weddle played for the San Diego Chargers, he got fined $10,000. His daughter was doing a halftime cheerleading thing, so he didn't go in the halftime. He didn't go into the. I mean, Chargers were out of it at this point. He got fined $10,000 for watching his daughter.
Damn. It's probably worth it to him.
Yeah, well, he but still, it's just all bullshit. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a good game.
The one thing that we haven't talked about yet either is a commercial break.
Oh yeah,
for the Super Bowl commercials.
I thought they were okay.
There was I liked the Larry David one actually. That one made me.
The Larry David one was funny. I like the one he goes, "You're going to let the stupid people vote."
Yeah. It was really good.
I'll tell you though, if it wasn't for cryptocurrency and electric vehicles, we would not have had commercials.
Jesus, the amount of like
I like that
vehicles.
truck, the Sopranos truck. That
Silverado.
Yeah.
Dude,
what's funny about crypto?
Meadow still is gorgeous.
Oh, good, Nick. What were you gonna say? Nick froze up.
Oh, just about cryptos. Yeah. Am I okay? I think we're on time now. Yeah. Okay. I was talking about it was crypto because I bought crypto back years ago and I haven't bought much since. And Chris and I both like crypto, but it's one of those things where you kind of want to do because I know like Cliff and I talk about because Cliff has a lot of stuff in cryptocurrencies, but it's one of those things where if you had millions or billions of dollars back in the day, like you'll invest in that, and so it's like a very small percentage owns the majority of all of the crypto, but it's one of those things that they can't sell it because if they do, it just collapses the entire thing. So that's why that's one of the push for like all the commercials. It's like we want to get more people into this kind of Ponzi scheme. So if we do sell it, we're not losing, just tons and tons of stuff.
I see. So it's
I haven't bought any yet. Probably won't.
I'm trying to remember some of the other commercials that were on there. The Doctor Strange trailer dropped, and we had a Moon Knight trailer with Poe Dameron.
You definitely glazed over some big stories from the Doctor Strange trailer. Did you watch it?
Yeah. No, I saw it. I just was trying to remember some of the commercials. But yeah, there was a certain voice that was heard in the Doctor Strange trailer that everybody was.
Patrick Stewart's voice.
Oh,
Yeah. Supposedly, yeah,
the crossover is going to happen.
We're gonna have some X-Men's, in here. Like,
it has to.
Maybe even a Deadpool.
That was the other.
Supposedly, his image is in the poster.
Right.
So is the the British Captain America, the female. They did a what if.
Right.
I can't remember her name.
Peg.
It's Peggy.
Peg Carter.
Peg Carter. Okay.
Carter?
Captain Carter. That's what the name of it is. Nailed it. Anyway, apparently her shield is in the movie poster for Doctor Strange as well. So,
cool.
Really
well, and there's the really big potential spoiler. Because supposedly, I don't know if it was real or not, but there was some movie theater or movie company somewhere that posted like the information about the upcoming Doctor Strange movie and listed the cast. And of course, the cast, when you post the cast of a movie like this, you're if you heard about the cast, you're gonna be getting pretty much spoiled because all these the names that are popping up. And if you don't want to hear about potential spoilers of Doctor Strange, I would say maybe fast forward to 30 seconds, or
I'll take it,
or whatever.
Yeah, but go ahead, lay it on us. So you've been warned.
Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, Tommy.
Yeah,
Iron Man. Yeah,
Iron Man. Because there's different versions
Wait,
of these characters.
Tom Cruise is now Iron Man.
Hear me out.
We can't say his name anymore now
because we're past that point, right? So you won't say the actor's name, but in the idea of this movie, it's introducing different universes where all these characters exist, and there's actually the scene in which Doctor Strange is being walked by Ultron soldiers, which in the comic books in a specific universe, those were created by and deployed by Tony Stark.
Interesting. Okay.
And the rumor has it that actor's name that I mentioned before was previously in talks of doing something similar.
Yeah.
And that actor's request is that he would do a version of the character that did not have a face mask. Now, the version of said character in the Marvel Universe in the comics in which those robots are deployed also does not have a face mask.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Does he wear a cup, though?
Yeah. So there is some credence to this mad theory that could actually happen, which is very interesting to see if that could be a thing.
My former good friend.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Oh, those are good. Well, really excited though about. I mean, if you watched Spider-Man No Way Home, right? There's basically a trailer kind of at the end of that movie for Doctor Strange, but this was different. This was a little bit more of kind of a sets it up a little bit more to where we can kind of understand it.
And I also think that Doctor Strange is going to be going into a world in which is animated as part of this as well.
Oh, that would be
so. There's actually a couple screenshots that in which a certain wheelchair is actually in almost a comic book style.
Locke is in it.
I like that's what you got from Wheelchair.
Yeah. So it's going to go from like into the Spider-Verse, kind of like going into a world that is there, which is going to be interesting to see how they do pull that off. Not that particular universe, but like in the animated style, which is interesting because there's a new show coming out on Disney Plus, or new series.
Are we talking?
X-Men.
Oh
yeah,
97.
97. Yeah. You know what's funny? Like,
I'm excited about that too. I thought we were going in a different direction. Because you're talking about. Go ahead.
He's gonna get real excited for that. Can't wait for his reaction.
I read an article a couple of days ago that X-Men, the original cartoon, the early '90s cartoon, was the number one thing, beating out
something about Nick saying beating out
with my blue pill.
It's pretty funny.
Back to Dick.
All we heard you say, Nick, was beating out.
Well, I was saying the old X-Men cartoon series is currently beating everything on whatever streaming service it's on.
I wonder what that algorithm is breaking it down. Like if this is an overall, because we know that there are certain like the power of something like Loki, let's say, or they've had shows on, Disney Plus, like The Mandalorian, that have definitely drawn in membership and viewers. So is this an overall, like, so many people stream it, and they don't really let the people know, like, all of those, like, little details.
It's funny because, like, I remember getting so mad when the first X-Men came out when he introduced Rogue, Anna Paquin, because I remember going, like, that's not fucking Rogue.
Yeah,
because, like, I was so used to the 90s cartoon. I was like, that's not Rogue. It's nowhere near Rogue.
Like Rogue is a MILF.
Yeah.
There was another trailer that dropped. Was it today? Maybe even. And you were mentioning, Chris, about different animation styles, or the idea of animation, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this.
No.
But, this is coming with the voice of
Monterey Jack. No,
John Mulaney, and
The
Lonely Island. Why can't I think of his name now?
Andy.
Thank you. Starts with an A. But every time I think of Saturday Night Live,
Asshole.
No, you're thinking of Pete Davidson, and Kanye West is like skirmish.
Chuck Cunningham, the Mexican. To answer your question, there is a podcast out there called Own and Peruse where we did discuss that.
We did.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Will Fry chimes in. Chip and Dale trailer looks very interesting. So, could be terrible, could be great. It definitely borders.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like they came out with
live action.
Yeah.
Oh, it's live action. Oh.
Yeah, it mixes genres. And
so it's like cartoons in a live action universe.
Yeah, and I mean, this is in the trailer.
Andy Samberg, by the way.
Jam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's like it's like they rebooted DuckTales like 4 years ago, and it's already over with.
Woo!
But I never watched it. I don't know if it was any good or not.
It was good. It's on Disney Plus and very enjoyable. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I thought the end to it, they were pulling together too many things that sometimes something that large, even in a cartoon, it just doesn't. It just I don't the flow of it just didn't. But really fun watch though. The DuckTales. So
okay.
Anyway, Chip and Dale, check out the trailer and you'll know what I mean.
Oh man, the voice cast is like
ridiculous.
ridiculous. Will Arnett, Seth Rogen, J.K. Simmons, Andy Samberg, Eric Bana, Keaton Michael Key, Chris Parnell, Dennis Haysbert, John Mulaney, Paula Abdul. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm spending some money on some voice actors.
Yeah.
Check out the trailer. It was could be terrible, could be great. It looked fun. It looked funny.
One of these guys better be Monterey Jack. If Monterey Jack's not in this movie,
Monterey Jack is in there. Trust me.
Okay,
he's in there. So
that's a hamburger Jack in the Box, isn't it?
That is how I learned about Monterey Jack, is through Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Thank you very much.
Legitimately.
Thank you. High five.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
A show I've been watching just because you said cheese, it reminded me of it. Is I've been watching Resident Alien, which is actually pretty good.
Resident Alien.
It's on Sci-Fi. Season 2 started maybe a month ago. It's with Alan Tudyk.
And he's like,
he's an alien. He crashed his ship and he's trying to blend in with humans. Yeah, and it's a pretty good show. But like towards the end of season 1, the human form that he took, that guy's wife shows up, and she's British, and so she calls him a monster. But the way British people say monster is you're such a monster, and monster. Like, and his response is like, that's a kind of cheese, right? It's just kind of like.
I like Alan Tudyk. He's funny.
Yeah, really good.
Wild and wacky.
One other show that I checked out, and I was really actually trying to binge finish it so that I could talk about it at least on some level. Station 11. So binge that show over the week. So and that's a show. Or as in I've watched the whole series.
I still haven't started yet.
I'll keep it very light.
Had kids all week. Sorry.
Well, and it is a show that I think, like, when I would sit down to watch it at night, like I could really only get through 2 episodes because it is a little bit more heady and heavy at moments, where it's a little bit intense. And, it's kind of like TV. You like it to be they're a palate cleansing where like before bed, I don't want to be like weighing some of these visual images, but I love the backbone structure of this story and how it keeps you guessing about the different science fiction elements and plays off of certain expectations without destroying hope. And that there is actually like growth and like it's not just about let's root the evil and destroy the evil for all mankind kind of like altruistic thing. It has a more human level context to it. The first episode, I think, Chris, you mentioned it hits hard, especially after what we've been through, a pandemic. So I can see a lot of viewers being turned off by that first episode. Stick with it because it grows and it evolves, and it is so much more than that.
Well, that's the thing, is like I love those kind of dystopian stories, and so I loved the first episode because and when you start getting into like the 20 years later stuff, I was really kind of like, I don't care about this at first. I wanted to see what happened right after all that, and then, but I was glad I stuck with it because, it all comes around so many times to all these things that are interconnected. And you're like, wow. And that's why Chris and I were saying, last week and week before last, whatever, is that it's neat how it slowly reveals at a very good time and the pacing's good. So you don't really lose interest in any of it.
Oh, and there is a moment in that last episode where there's a couple characters where you're just like, you're like, okay, you're happy. I don't want to give too much away, but there is just
a very satisfying way they ended a character's two characters story arc.
Right. Yes.
And
we're trying to be as vague as possible to not spoil anyone on this.
Right. It was extremely sasatisfying. Like I felt I don't think there's been really great examples in television in where they've pulled that off. Right. So I think that in particular, that's why this one stands out for me, is I think it was just handled perfectly, and I felt good after watching it. Yes. I felt good that, okay, that's the end of it, and I can move on from it, and that's the end of the show.
and I feel
good about it.
I can see, Chris, where you'd think about it a while too,
right?
Like there's certain aspects of that you would think about and kind of hold with you.
And what I hate about it, when those, I like one season only shows, but this one to me has not gotten any traction, as in like people talking about it, and I hate that. Like I don't want it I would like people to watch it, and I hate that it probably will be forgotten in a couple of years, it's like, even like right now, like no one talks about
well, it got nominated for Best Picture.
Did it?
Best series.
Best series. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think. But
think about like how good I don't know. But think about how good The Watchmen was, and like no one talks about it anymore. Like not really.
Well, I think different shows are discovered at different times. I'm always surprised at during the pandemic how many people binged certain TV shows that they never had a chance to get to see. And so so a lot of these TV shows, sitcoms like The Office, or a handful of other ones that are that people finally got around to like going through and watching certain shows.
Have you listened to Jack's podcast? So like the peeling back of the layers of MASH. It's crazy. Yeah.
What?
Like on Jack talks about and discusses the depth and like all the hidden mysteries after his 20th rewatch of MASH. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's great.
Actually, I did a video and a couple days ago, and I said there should have been like a Dear Trapper episode. You remember he used to have Dear Dad? Because Trapper just like disappeared. There was no. Yeah. There should have been a Dear Trapper episode where he talks about, the new characters on the show, but they fucked up.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
So Station 11 didn't get nominated for anything.
It didn't.
No.
I thought it did. I thought it had gotten nominated for. I have a feeling though that it has such a great story, really great acting, I would say that my one criticism is that there are times in which, it's a little drawn out, or a little, like, the space of it can be a little slow. But I think that the breadth of it, and being able to have those moments of nature or I guess, I don't know, moments of contemplation within the show, is part of its DNA. So to take it out would almost kind of like.
It's because they chose Hamlet. That's why. They.
I didn't even want to mention that. You know,
they shouldn't have chose Hamlet. It's just...
Well, yeah, but see, the thing is that the mousetrap that's within Hamlet.
So that's Locke again.
Seriously though, like the whole mousetrap within Hamlet, the play within the play, really starts to get meta, because there's a bit of a play within the play within the play, and it really. And it was a show too that I kind of am curious to watch again, maybe even in a year's time, and just see what I might notice.
I will give it a try. Hopefully, sometime next week.
I think you'll like it, Jack. I mean, if us all three like it, you'll like it. Yeah.
There's a 75% chance.
Yeah, 75. Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it, because if anything, usually I'm the one that shits on everything, and if I like it, then it's
true.
Yeah,
because we were going to go see a movie. Cindy goes, well, "What about this?" I forget the movie, and I go, "Nick didn't like it." Oh, it was the licorice pizza one.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, "Well, doesn't he hate everything?"
Your reputation.
I go, "Well, pretty much." I go, "But he was, I don't know."
Yeah, that's what I start to say too. Miami Mike makes a good point there. Station 11 came out too late for the Emmy nominations, and that's kind of what I started to say.
Does anyone care about nominations anymore?
Not really.
Well, what's that movie? The Power of the Dog, which is was nominated for Best Picture, I think.
It probably will win Best Picture. But you look at everything it's going up against. I mean, this was a shitty year for movies.
A friend of mine went and said, no, he didn't go and see. He said he watched it, but he said it was like one of the worst movies he's ever watched.
Yeah,
Power of the Dog.
Yeah,
I struggled to finish it. I was like, come on.
It depends on what kind of cinema you like. Because I get it. I get why it's nominated. I get why people like it. It's not for me, because I'm a plot person, and it has zero plot, and that's why
when it ended, I was like going.
Because it's real. If you like good cinematography, which it has beautiful cinematography.
Oh yeah,
and if you like very good acting, then you might like it, but there is zero story to it. And it's almost a movie that on the first view, you'll be like Jack and me. This movie sucks. It's going nowhere. What the hell am I watching? And then once you've seen it all, it's one of those things that on the second viewing, which I have not done, but on the second viewing, you'll appreciate it more. The thing is, I don't want to watch it a second time.
I'm sitting right with you. I can't do it. I was so bored, because like I said, the part that got it was because it was on Netflix, right? They were showing a little. I go, that's pretty interesting, because that's pretty interesting. I think I got to watch it.
Wow.
I go, okay, let's get to this. Let's get to this part where I go, this is just fucking boring.
It's not even trending on Netflix.
No, it's not good. I mean, Licorice Pizza is like, it's a coming of age story.
I can't go see it because you hated it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that got nominated for something.
It got nominated for something. Yeah, I'm sure, but it's to me, it was just kind of like, all right, whatever. To me, really, the best film of 2021 was probably Spider-Man. There wasn't that many good films.
Yeah, it was really good.
I am done with the podcast awards.
Oh, you're done with this podcast? All right. So,
podcast.
I'd like to thank everybody that joined us live. If you want to send us an email, at.
Did we get an email?
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, I think we did.
Randy's here.
We also got an email that we read on the most recent Owen and Barus. So if you really love us talking about the Book of Boba Fett, or you're like, why haven't they talked about the Book of Boba Fett more? Well, we finally got together and
I was actually on a video call with a coworker today, and he knows I'm a big Star Wars guy, and he is too. And he's like, "So what'd you think of Book of Boba Fett, man? I really liked it." And I was kind of like, "Really?" I was like, "Do you really want me to tell you what I thought?" it's one of those moments where I hate being that guy because like over the course of probably the next 10 to 15 minutes, he kind of went.
You hate being that guy.
I am that guy, but I hate.
That's what I'm saying.
I hate shattering people's view of something because it was one of those things where like after he heard me talk, he went, "Wow, you're right." You
ruined it for him.
Yeah, because I was talking about how we talked about it. It's like it should have been. It's like because this felt like a chapter of Boba Fett, not a book of Boba Fett. It's like if they'd done every episode an hour episode of like here he is on Camino, here he is like after Empire Strikes Back, here he is like facing off against all these different bounty hunters.
Chapters of his fucking life.
Of his life. Yeah. As like, and then at the very end, when he's like, I need backup, all of a sudden, every single bounty hunter just shows up. You have Bosk there, you have IG-88, you have everybody, and you're like, fuck yeah. Like, it would have been awesome. Whatever. And he kind of, the guys.
Oh, like, maybe season 2.
Yeah. So we got an email from Randy to the RCAD, but it's titled Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Hi, Matt, Nick, and Chris. I was so excited to make my first appearance on the Owen and Beru's podcast this week. I hope my enthusiasm and geekdom for Star Wars shined through. You guys have had quite a few varied guests on your show. Seems like everyone's been on. However, you might not want Jack to hear this. I understand the ban. You don't want another Twitter situation. Mm-hmm. Star Wars Forever, Randy.
Wasn't I on Owen and Beru's once?
What? You did do one Owen and Bruce, but
did he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did season 1, episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And then he never wanted to come back.
That's right. He said, "I'm
he
one
totally
done."
George
That's
Costanza'd it. He was just like,
"That's right."
I was never invited back.
Well, maybe this will answer your question. Randy writes in again and says, "Slip sliding away." On the anniversary of Matt's ill-fated sledding adventure, why is Arnold Schwarzenegger such a good sled salesman? Because he knows how to toboggan. Toboggan?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
Fuck, man.
Hey, Randy writes these, not me. So
now you, Chris, guarantee says beanie. In Indianapolis, do you call what you put on top of your head a beanie, Matt, or do you say toboggan?
Fuck no, I've never called it a beanie.
Well, there's a style of hat that's a beanie. I don't call them all beanies. I call a specific style of beanie.
Okay.
So what do you call the one thing you put on top of your head then?
What is a beanie?
Cap.
Are you talking about year round or during the winter specifically?
Not a cap, not a cap, not a hat, not with a bill or anything. Yeah, I'm just talking about like the thing that you would be a beanie.
If it's a beanie, like if it's like the style of beanie, which is kind of like a skull cap, if you will, I call that a beanie.
Okay.
If it's not, if it's like one with like a palm on the top with like a big
the
thing,
ball,
I just call it winter hat.
A winter hat. Okay.
Yeah.
A winter hat. That's so lame.
Okay. Because people in the South call them toboggans. And people, I never understood that until I got older. Like people from the North or from out West go, why do you call it toboggan? Toboggan's a sled. And it's one of those things that like it's because the South has such a huge French I froze up again. Has such a huge French influence. Toboggan is the word for it's the French word for sledding. And it's tobogganing. It's tobogganing. I'm getting my tobogganing clothes. So the thing you put on your head is a toboggan.
Oh. Because when I first came out here, people go, gotta get my toboggan. I go, sled? No, my hat. I go.
Yeah, I think we just call it a hat. Like, I don't think we ever even designate. It's just implied. Like you're going outside. Hey, do you need your hat, bud? I'll say that to my son. But it's not like, do you need your winter hat? Or I never say, do you need your stocking hat? Or
we never refer to. I need to get my winter hat.
Do you need your snowmobile hat, son?
You say, I need to get my hat. Like my hat.
Well, your kids go, Dad, do you need your sledding helmet?
Are these your sledding jeans?
Nope.
I thought this was supposed to be shit on Matt Day in the chat.
No. We're good here. All good. That's fine. We don't.
No, remember because we said if whoever has the best one gets an autographed picture.
That's exactly what you said, Jack. I did not agree to this, and I'm not going to be your mouthpiece. I'm Miami Mike's.
I'm not going to be your
mouthpiece. Door or dick? Dickadore.
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 So
there was, you mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger. My wife goes, because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger
he was in that.
and Selma Hayek.
Mhm.
And she goes, is that a nice car? I go, all I can see was Selma Hayek.
Yeah, for real.
She looked amazing.
I go, oh yeah, there is a car there.
I want to know how. I mean, she must work out. Because she's only like 5 foot or 5'1". I want to know how she has stayed that fine. At her age, being that short. Because usually, women that are that short,
You
they
better
kind of
fucking
balloon
be real careful where you go with this, man.
I'm just saying, but you know how it is.
You better hope your internet goes out.
I'm just saying,
because you've stepped in it. There's no way out of this one.
No, I'll own it. It's the truth. But
short women, what?
Short women, I'm just saying,
what?
After you have a child or two, unless you work out, you tend to be a little bit bigger. Just kind of like, whatever.
You heard it here first. Candidate Nick. Short women.
Those short
children are fat.
This is where Matt's going to shoot his shot. This is where he's going to go for his redemption.
I'm so excited. I'm like,
go
come
for
on,
it.
guys.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got nothing. Except, isn't it time we end this show or something?
It is.
So.
Fine. Whatever.
Well, sometimes we go long, sometimes we go short, depending on how many children we've had.
We have the
Dickadore.
Sometimes we can get the garage door up, sometimes we can get it closed. It does seem early. It seems like we for the last several times we
Does it seem premature?
Premature show ejaculate. No, there's no.
Whoa,
there's
that's
nothing.
weird, dude.
I know it is.
Speaking of
56. Wow.
Speaking of doors, like I was on,
she's short, but she's not round.
That confirms what I wrote in the chat.
I was on a tech update call earlier today because you're talking about garage doors, and it's one of those things where like the podcasting hat so wants to come on all the time and give people shit. And I had this guy, when you're in the development team, it's always, is it front end or back end? Is what you say, like, is this a front end part of the application or a back end of the code? And this guy was saying front door or back door, and I was over just laughing the entire time when I go like, are you really saying front door or back door? Because I wanted to yeah, we know you're going into the back door.
The back door is for UPS, okay? Because that's where Brown goes. Yeah. I assume that's what Chuck Cunningham is talking about in the chat.
What, Matt? We used to have so many listeners in Mexico. Now we have none.
No, I did not. I wasn't making any Mexican reference. I'm talking about in the chat.
Know. What did you think? What I thought? First thing I thought was you're being,
No, I'm talking about Brown. UPS. They go in the back door. It's for Brown. Deliveries.
Somebody wears brown pants today.
I did want to say though, today there's been this cable from our neighbor's house to our little box there, AT&T, for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Well, today they're finally burying it. Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't come up to our door. Cable? Yeah, they're laying the cable. They didn't come up to our door and say, "Hey, we're going to be digging up your front yard." I look out the window. I go, "Oh, they're digging up our front yard."
How far into your front yard?
About 5 feet.
Yeah, that's not your property.
Yeah, well, we've been down this road before, but but when they put the grass back, they didn't put it level.
So
it's like
a little lump. A little lump.
I go, is it that hard? Put a little less dirt in there, so it's still. Yeah,
you're right.
But then my neighbor works for Google Fiber. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Well, we're going to be digging this up next week anyway because they're coming through." I said, "All right, so I don't care. Just dig away." It's just. Hey, maybe I'll switch to Google Fiber.
You should always have fiber if you can get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Wish I could get it.
But anyway, I just walked out there and they just looked at me like, I said, "So you're going to bury the cable?" They go, "Yeah." I go, "Okay."
Did you see last Mexican Chuck Cunningham's comments there, Matt?
I'm not mentioning anything at all now. I'm just trying to get out of this podcast with my dignity and peace. You know, Chris, you're muted, and I'm sure it's beautiful what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here looking at pictures of Selma Hayek.
Oh, okay, sure.
Man.
You can always,
so I'm not sure what the car. I'm not sure what the car was. I think it was an
looking.
electric car, right? But I don't know what.
Yeah, it was an electric car. You plug it in, and Zeus zaps it, and you got all the free power and energy you need. So, apparently, so. What else happened this last week with you gentlemen?
That's about it. Just watching kids.
Watching kids working. So, I didn't have a headache all week. Like I had that one migraine, and I got through.
You drank water. You drank water, didn't you?
Drank a lot of water. Also, didn't drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
So
I'm having water tonight.
It's a weird thing, and I don't consider myself a big drinker. I usually just have a beer a night. It's kind of my bedtime, like nighty night. Gonna have my beer, some chips. Probably not the healthiest thing to do. To eat a bunch of potato chips, drink a beer, and then crash.
What kind of potato chips?
The kettle. What is it?
Nice.
That kettle.
Lay's kettle?
No, it's not the Lay's brand, but
it's the brown bag.
No, it's a white bag.
It's a white bag.
Of course.
It's got like a.
You motherfuckers!
It's got a lighthouse on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Cape Cod.
Thank you,
God.
dude. Oh,
forget
dude,
Cape
Cod
Cape
potato
Cod.
chips.
Yeah,
Cape
that's what
Cod
it is.
potato
Cape
chips.
Cod. I knew there was a cuss.
Those are expensive, but yeah.
Well, I get it at
bag,
Costco,
which is good.
Cheap.
So if you're gonna get Cape Cod chips, the dark russet ones are where it's at.
I don't know if Matt.
And that is a brown bag of chips.
Oh, the Costco they don't have the dark russet, so that's a Costco thing. So
I've been to the factory.
Oh, nice. As soon as I said lighthouse, you were like, "That's it."
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Well, right when you said,
how many chips have a lighthouse on it? It's only Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Those are actually. Those are good chips.
They're good chips.
Great chips.
So anyway, just cutting beer out though at night has been weird for me because even though I'm not a drinker, it's like I've fallen into this habit where I'm always having this thing, and then you go without it. One day, it's no big deal. Second day, no big deal. Third day, you're kind of like, it's kind of weird. I don't have my usual.
Are you eating sunflower seeds?
No. Like, I had like an Izzy one night, which I was like, this is just lame. Like, this is just fruit juice. So maybe I'll have some tea or something, So
he only eats white.
I do like brown dips, okay? And the brown comment was about UPS and backdoor delivery, like a porno, like, hey, I hear you want a package. You want me to go around back? You know what I mean? Like,
no, none of us know.
Again, Chris, you're muted for all the best comments.
Yeah. He's still muted, Chris.
The best part about all this, though, is that it's like Matt lights his own fuse up to his own time bomb, and actually pushes everybody else away from trying to blow it out, right? But instead, he actually pours gaseline on his own fuse.
What have I done?
Like Jack was trying to change the subject, and you're like, no, I've got this, and I'm just gonna perpetuate the story to make it even worse.
Yeah, I was actually trying to help you.
So I mean, I'm just gonna go on record and say that you can't sit there and say you guys just shitting on me on that when you are literally self-sabotaging yourself right now.
Look at what Mexican Chuck Cunningham said.
Because I'm just making an innocent comment of like, oh, that's the brown bag chip. She's like, no. Like, you're against the brown bag.
It's the brown bag.
It's the white bag.
I don't choose it based on color. It's a content issue.
So when you're painting,
but it wasn't the fact that you choose by color. Is that you're definitely not for the brown bag. Like you wanted to make it very clear that it was absolutely not of that shade of color.
They don't have the brown bag at my Costco. The Coast of Code does not.
Like you were quick to correct him. Like
he likes the wool.
I could have just let it go. You could have Elsa'd that shit, and we'd be on to fucking next. We'd be on to Cincinnati. But no.
Oh man.
I bought my. I usually don't buy them that much. I bought some Cheetos Puffs the other day,
Ooh.
and which
Cheetos
I love the
Puffs?
Puff. I usually get the Cheetos Crunch because I like the crunchy was sometimes more. But I was like, I'm gonna get the Puff bag today. They're thinner than they're making them. They're not as puffy. I want them puffy.
You got going back to the blue pill.
Chuck says, I wish I could mute the top left of my screen. Oh, now you put me up there.
Hey,
that's
you know,
funny.
I'm only doing this for Sherry so she can
Oh, my
screenshot
Christ.
this. You know? So. Look, I wish I had the names finished, but I only have 4 out of 5 of them done. So I've been trying to stall, but I can't come up with anything.
Speaking of Puffs,
Speaking of Puffs,
back a couple years ago when they brought back the Planters cheese balls, if you guys remember that whole thing,
I do remember that. You still have any?
I can't let this one go. Matt was so clearly trying to close out the show, and Nick was like, "Nah, fuck you. I'm gonna talk about Puffs again."
I'm just
and cheese balls.
He said he wasn't ready, so I'm like, "Fuck it, then. If you're not ready, I'm just gonna keep talking about cheese puffs."
When you go to the store, do they come in a brown bag?
okay. I'm just
Fuck
going.
it. I don't want to end. It says Nick. I want to keep going.
I don't want to keep going. So you know, I didn't get hardly anything for Christmas this year because that's just my parents. And my mom though tried her best to get me something. So
Aren't you like 40?
On Christmas Day, yeah, I'm 40, but you at least expect to get one thing.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
My mom gave me a can of Planters cheese balls. I was like, oh, great. You know, like I'll eat them here on Christmas Day. But as you've probably heard me say in the past, my mom is a hoarder and also holds on to everything, food included, for the longest amount of time.
So they expired.
Yes. So I open up this can of cheese balls and I start eating them and they're just dry and oily. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at the bottom of it and they expired. She probably bought the can when they were originally re-released and they were at least 2 years old. And I'm like, what the fuck?
So here's the real question though. Did you finish them?
Yeah, I finished them. Yeah.
Of course you did. Fucking course you did.
Of course I did.
Now,
What am I going to do? Just not eat it? Come on.
Now, do you think that a Cheetos Crunch would actually have more cheese per crunch than the Puff? Because the shape of the crunch is kind of like irregular, so it has more areas to hold cheese.
The Puff has all that cheese dust, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right, though, man. I think the Crunchies has more cheese than the Puffs, but I like the Puffs. You know, I like them both. But
you can buy the cheese dust.
Really? I don't know if I'd ever go that far to actually to add the cheese
I've
the.
seen it.
Man, once you go and get that dust.
Yeah. Well, you can put it on anything you want, you know.
I know.
Chicken with cheese dust? Yeah, it works.
Yeah, why not?
Sprinkle it around the back door.
Don't go down that road again, man.
Yeah. I know. I'm just thinking. All right, I'm done.
Yay!
All right, let's close out this show. Much to the chagrin of everybody that joined us live. We do appreciate everybody that joined us live. Everybody from Kim to Richie Cunningham, Chuck Cunningham, Miami Mike, Randy. Of course, we could not forget you. So I believe Sherry was also chiming in at some point.
Yeah, she was here.
Will Fry, and Tamara. I'm so glad that you made the Dick or Door conversation, or Door or Dick. Dick or Door. Dick or Door sounds better. Yeah.
It's Dickadore. Dickadore.
Mm-hmm.
One word.
Matt Krieb.
House Dickadore wins. That's what we do. We hold on. Time out. Justifiably interrupting your ending again, but I think that we just created a house for a future Harry Potter movie.
Dickadore.
House Dickadore.
There's a really good meme. I doubt I can find it.
Craig Griffiths, thanks for joining us live. You had one comment at the very beginning, ouch, and he was just like, fuck this shit. These guys are just talking about hurting their dicks. Anyway, go ahead. Yes. If I forgot to mention your name, it's only because I didn't see your name in the chat, but thank you for joining us live.
Did you notice that he only screwed up my name?
Yeah, I did notice that. So anyway, if anybody named Cunningham or any other names other than Randy wants to email in their jokes, send it to the rcadcast@gmail.com. We would really appreciate that. I will read it on there. This started off as a theme for these names.
Are we allowed to? Is this like PG?
Are you calling our patrons dicks?
No. Why would I do that?
You said it was a theme. That's the only thing we've got for tonight.
No. I started drawing in a certain theme, not knowing what we were going to talk about.
You drew penises?
So. Okay, I'm going to put these up for Chris to read them.
Tax 2-point perspective.
I like that. I like that artwork.
Nice dimensions.
Eckhart's cube art. Dude, are you just creating like your syllabus and shit and doing it on the show?
I think so.
The fuck? Elliptical Ed.
Are you sure those ellipticals? I'm not sure.
They were ellipses.
Ellipses.
Yeah, I thought about Ed's ellipses may have been better. So
magic marker Maggie's magic marker.
Yeah, I know.
That's different. You're doing shapes and now you switch to marker. What the hell?
I was
kind of look like a dick.
I was going for the alliteration. And lastly,
look like a penis.
There's
your penis.
There we go. We did it. This was a great show. It was one in a puff. Puff pass, people. Okay.
Like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, let me return us back to the normal view here. Anyway, thanks again for joining us live. Hope you enjoyed it. Join us. Tune in next week, most likely on a Tuesday. Never know.